Alright folks, let's get AWS IAM Authenticator up and running. First, make sure your system is ready, no surprises. Then grab the installer. No, it's not a treasure hunt. Chocolatey makes installation smoother than a fresh jar of peanut butter, so let's use that. Finally, we check if everything worked, because skipping this step is like baking a cake and not checking if it's done. Let's dive in. I'm Amelia James, a technology expert with 13 plus years of experience designing and delivering human resource management systems that actually work for people. I specialize in building scalable integrated HR platforms that streamline processes, enhance employee experience, and give leadership real-time, actionable insights. Ever felt like managing credentials is like herding cats? AWS IAM Authenticator makes it easier. It lets your Kubernetes clusters log in using AWS IAM roles. No more keeping track of endless passwords. Say goodbye to static credentials sitting around like a forgotten coffee cup. It's all about security, so let's make authentication smarter. Security is not just a fancy word. It's a necessity. AWS IAM Authenticator helps Kubernetes authenticate securely with IAM roles. That means no more worrying about static credentials lounging around, waiting to be exploited. And the best part, it integrates smoothly with AWS, making authentication less of a headache. Alright folks, first things first, install AWS CLI and set up your credentials. Think of it as giving AWS your ID card. Next, make sure AWS IAM Authenticator is installed, because no one likes surprises mid-project. Then, configure authentication for your Kubernetes clusters so they know who's boss. Finally, test everything, because nothing says I'm a pro like catching issues before they catch you. Testing time. Run authentication tests using AWS CLI. Think of it as a security checkpoint. If something's off, check the logs for errors. IAM roles and policies need to be validated, because permissions matter. Lastly, ensure your Kubernetes cluster access is working. If it's not, well, time to put on your detective hat. Troubleshooting, everyone's favorite pastime. First, check your AWS IAM permissions. If something's blocked, it's probably a permissions issue. Next, verify your Kubernetes configuration, because even the best setups can have hiccups. Logs are your best friend. Read them like a mystery novel. And if all else fails, update AWS CLI and IAM Authenticator. Sometimes a fresh start is all you need. Updates, because technology never sits still. First, check for the latest version. If you're outdated, it's time to upgrade. Download and install updates like a responsible techie. Then, verify the installation, because no one wants a half-baked setup. Finally, test authentication post-update. If it works, celebrate. If not, well, back to troubleshooting. Sometimes things need to go. First, remove the IAM Authenticator binary. Out with the old. Clean up configuration files, because clutter is never fun. Verify removal, because ghosts of old installations can haunt you. And if you change your mind, reinstall it. No hard feelings. Best practices, because we all want to be the best. Use the least privilege principle, because giving too much access is like handing over your house keys to a stranger. Regularly review IAM policies. Things change, and so should your security settings. Enable logging for audits, because proof is power. And keep IAM Authenticator updated, because outdated software is a hacker's dream. Security is serious business. Restrict access to IAM roles, because not everyone needs VIP access. Monitor authentication logs, because surprises are best left for birthdays. Use multi-factor authentication, because one password is never enough. And regularly rotate credentials, because stale passwords are a security nightmare. Need more help? AWS IAM Authenticator official docs are your go-to guide. Kubernetes authentication guides will keep you on track. AWS security best practices, because security is never optional. And don't forget community forums, because sometimes the best advice comes from fellow techies. And that's a wrap. We covered integration, testing, troubleshooting, and best practices. Now apply what you've learned, because knowledge without action is just trivia. Stay updated with AWS changes because tech evolves fast. And engage with the AWS community because learning is better together. Please do like, share, and subscribe to our channel. For more information, contact us.